Yeah, go or yeah. Um, so first quarter and first half of the second quarter, I feel like you guys came out strong. What were you guys seeing during that stretch? And then where do you think things kind of like got off track?
Yeah, I think first quarter, especially, we did a good job of attacking their pressure. They do a good job of putting physicality on the defensive end, and we found some stuff that worked for us. We kind of went to it. We got a little bit stagnant in that kind of bottom half of the second quarter, and so it put us in a bit of a tough bind. And then defensively, we had a couple miscues that are fixable and controllable by us. So when we go back and watch film, it's something that we can control and fix next time.
Yeah, I would say we're a team that definitely gets our energy off of defensive stops, and no second chance points, and we did a great job of that to start off the game. Um, just getting it out and running the floor in transition. We got great open looks doing that, so we just kind of got away from that.
Yeah.
Well, what is it about this matchup? Obviously, not this particular subset of game, it didn't go the way you guys wanted, but I think that this matchup kind of bodes well. You guys have really played well against the Lynx. Just in your words, what do you think kind of helps you guys match up with them?
For the most part, we can match their physicality, right? We are a pretty physical team ourselves. And I think inside we have, great bigs who have the ability to kind of use that physicality to their strengths. I think, there's a couple times in the paint tonight where I thought there was a little bit more contact than other people on the floor thought there was. But at the end of the day, I think putting pressure on the rim is something that we do really well. And this is a really good basketball team on both ends of the floor. Obviously, it's why they sit so high in the rankings. But for us personally, I think it is a good matchup. I think we match up kind of well against them just in terms of personnel. And we play hard. So that's always tough to play against for anybody.
Yeah, I would say our inside presence is very versatile, and so is theirs. So we just, in general, matchup to matchup, have a great chance against them. And then also Angel and Fee just are point forwards that kind of control the game, and I think that it's just a great matchup for the both of them.
How did you guys feel the absence of Ariel?
Yeah, I mean, A does a lot for us, obviously on both ends of the floor, and the ball's in our hand a lot. So I think our point guards get a little extra pressure with the ball being in their hands a little bit more when A isn't in the lineup. And so, it's on all of us. Nobody can kind of step up and do what A does, but obviously each and every one of us has to raise our game and our level a little bit to kind of cover up for some of the stuff that we miss. But obviously she does a ton for us. So it's tough when we don't have her on the floor.
Turnovers continue to be a trend. Just from your standpoint, I know this is an area of focus for you guys, but why do you think that these moments still kind of happen and it kind of takes you guys kind of away from, sustaining leads or being in games, whatnot?
I mean, like she said, when we get stagnant, this one, it really, like, we really turn the ball over a lot. So when we get moving on offense, when we get stops, it kind of is all just a cycle. And so, when we're stagnant, it's easy to turn the ball over, and you can see that.
Like in the second half of the first part of the season, you guys had like built up this momentum and chemistry. Did you feel like today was like a step back from that? Do you feel like it was just kind of like a bump in the road? Like, how did you feel about that trajectory?
I mean, I think we know what we're capable of. And I think we've shown that over that stretch that you're talking about where we played really, really good basketball. And I think as you continue to go through the season, it's never going to be a direct trajectory. I've been in this league for almost 8 years now, and it's never that way with any team. And so you can't necessarily look at things and think everything is a step back, because if you do that, you're always going to be feeling like you're on the downward spiral. And for us, I think there's little things that we can take and pieces of each game that we can take and say, like, this is going in the right direction. This is maybe staying the same. This isn't what we need it to be. These are the standards that we need to hold ourselves to. And so we need to continue to be better, upholding some of those standards and keeping ourselves in kind of a poised situation, knowing that pressure is something that we tend to face pretty consistently across the board, and just being better in those situations.
Kia, what do you get your thoughts on just Maddy and just her presence and just staying ready?
With her sitting right beside you. Well, no, you know what? I have said it to a lot of people behind the scenes. I love our rookies, and Maddy and Haley both have this incredible work ethic, and they come into their job now every single day. They don't complain. They get in their extra reps. And they do a great job. So a lot of it about being ready in our league is being able to have that stuff that you do in the dark that nobody sees be able to come to fruition when she gets in the games. And Maddy is a workhorse, always in the gym. I actually have told Maddy and Haley both to get out of the gym occasionally. They don't listen to me. They don't like me when I say that, but rest and recovery. And so I'm not surprised that when she does come into the game, she makes the impact that she does. She plays hard. She makes good reads. She's smart and she can play multiple
Recording in
positions.
progress.
And so it's nice to see all that extra work that you're doing come to fruition.
Thanks, Auntie Key.
You're welcome.
I know Ariel wasn't here, but are you guys like keeping up with her? Like, how's her spirit and as she's doing this recovery?
Good spirit. I mean, she's around us all the time. You know, we have a good vibe going on. But yeah, for sure, we're in full communication with everybody who's back home right now. They sent us all texts before the game, and so it's nice to have that camaraderie between one another. And everybody is in good spirits and itching to be back on the floor.
Yeah. Wish they were here with us.
Yeah.
Was there a specific message that you guys heard from coach today, or is it just kind of just guys know what you need to do, going forward? What was there anything like, I guess, different from today in the message?
Stuff that was said, I think I will keep in the locker room. But it was all good stuff and stuff that we need to, what I love about Tyler is that he's honest, and he's vulnerable, and he will always look in the mirror before he asks us to do anything. And it's also our job to look in the mirror before we ask anybody else to do anything. Right. And that's a big piece of it as well. And so I tell people a lot, he's one of those guys that you want to play for. And so the messaging today was what we needed to hear, not necessarily all the good, some of the tough stuff too, but we definitely needed to hear it.
We'll go to Curly Bell on Zoom.
Kia, this is more for you. What can the guard group do in trying to find better ways to feed the post inside? It looks like there's been issues where just trying to get those post entry passes are either getting deflected or, turnovers are coming. What can the guard group do to help get better looks inside for the post players?
It's a combination of everything, right? From the guard's perspective, we got to get better angles to get the ball to the hand that's available. These guys in Minnesota do a really good job of 3/4ing the post, so it's a difficult passing angle to get it into. If you're on the wing, it's a little bit easier from the top, but movement around it, we got to do a better job of setting screens for these guys to come off and get a little bit more space, and then just throw it in there when we can. People pack the paint on us, right? They know how good and how dominant our posts are. So when the backside help comes through, as a guard, your decision is you can either throw it in there and hope that it doesn't get tipped or make sure that they have a space to get it. And so there's a lot that goes into the thought process as we do that, and it's easier said than done. But we can do a better job of just giving them a little bit more space and time, and probably moving on the backside as well to give them some more space where they're not going to get doubled.
I mean, might not necessarily agree with my assessment after this game, but I feel like you guys match up pretty well with the Lynx. Just wanted to get your thoughts just on maybe what in this matchup didn't go well for you guys.
Yeah, I think that things kind of just slipped away from us in that second quarter. I think we've shown in the last 3 matchups against them that we can, that we can compete. I think that today, kind of the end of that first half and the start of that second half, things snowballed in a way that just put us in a hole that was too deep to dig out of as the game went on. So it was one of those games.
And then Kia mentioned, and both players are very, forthright, and just the fact that they understand the urgency of the situation. Is that just kind of like in the tenor of the message of the team? Yeah,
for sure. I think it's been there's always a balance in the fine line between panicking and between urgency, and I think that there's still a lot of games left to play and to right the ship. And so there needs to be urgency from that standpoint. I think that when you get into panic mode, you start getting out of character. And I think that we just have to, understand the difference between the two. And again, have that urgency so that we don't let games like this slip away.
Yeah, there were some positives earlier in the game. The ball was moving well. I thought that was a good flow. Is that kind of some of the things that you kind of point to, just in the areas of opportunity versus like the things that you feel like the team is doing well?
Yeah, I think when sometimes both sides of the ball go hand in hand. When you struggle to score, puts a lot of pressure on your defense and vice versa. And I think today was a little bit of that. We just after that first quarter, we struggled to get anything easy. And then that put a lot of pressure on our transition defense and our half-court defense at times. And so, it was all kind of on us in terms of understanding, we knew what the pressure they were going to bring. And we didn't handle it very well again today.
Then I have one on Maddy. Obviously, she's been very patient and you're waiting for an opportunity. And as of late, we've seen just the improvement in the progression of her game. Yeah. Obviously, just what were some of your thoughts from her play tonight? I thought she competed really well today. I think that her and Haley have been thrown in some tough situations throughout this season, whether it was via injury or what have you. And
but I think that, they've adjusted as well as they could have, and they both played, pretty good minutes today, and held their own. I think that, again, it can't all be, the progress can't all be gauged in one or two games. I think you got to take the totality of what they've been able to do in the minutes they've been allotted throughout the season. And I think they've had solid rookie seasons thus far. So it's a continuing growth for them, continuing learning experiences for them. They'll be better for it, and continue to see them get minutes moving forward.
Was there any way that you felt the absence of Ariel, like what you saw out there?
Sure, Ariel gives us a sense of athleticism and downhill capabilities that we certainly miss. But at the same time, I think that we've learned how to step up in certain moments when other players have been absent, whether it's an injury or Camilla leaving or what have you. And so there's just times throughout the game where we got to continue to show the poise and the fight when things start to feel like they're slipping away. And I thought that at times throughout this season, we've been pretty good at that, and other times not so. So, again, we got to channel the, 2 or 3 weeks going into the break. We got to channel that team again here in the coming weeks, because these games are going to continue to come fast. We got Seattle Thursday and Indiana on Sunday. So it's one at a time, but we got to continue to, kind of have a short memory from this one, but also understanding what the urgency level is needed for the next one.
There's just one on Camila, like it feels like she hasn't maybe quite, since coming back from Brazil, she didn't like snap back to exactly how she was kind of trending before. What kind of conversations have you had with her? What do you kind of see?
Yeah, I don't think that it's just been a Camilla thing. I think it's kind of been a team thing, so to speak. I think that her first game back was against Minnesota at home when we pulled that one out, and then the second Minnesota game, or the third Minnesota game, we we gave a good effort, and then we were all kind of out of sorts against Atlanta. So I think it's been a group, kind of thing of finding that rhythm again. And I think we can. We just got to be all committed to it.
So you used the lineup, I believe it was Will and Maddy. There might have been, I can't remember the third person, but it was a lineup that you used going against the Minnesota when they're kind of like small.
Mm-hmm.
What did you like about that lineup just in that lineup?
Yeah, we used Maddy in a couple of different situations tonight. She was, she played the 4 with E and with Camilla at times, and then she played the 3 at times today, which was her first time in that position in a game scenario. And so some of that is just due to sheer numbers and needing to fill bodies, but we wanted to play big at times tonight, and then kind of match them with size at times as well. But it was trying to find some rhythm and consistency throughout the game, and at times we had it, at times we didn't. We just struggled to get it clicking on both sides tonight.
Go to Carly on Zoom.
Hey, Coach Marsh, turnovers have been just a theme all season. This is the most turnovers you guys have given up since June 17th, where you gave up 25. What is it that you can really pinpoint? When we asked players earlier, they said it's just when there's stagnation offensively is when the ball gets turned over. Would you agree with that assessment, or do you think there's other things that are contributing to the high turnover rate that's been occurring here the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I don't think the turnovers are just something that you can place blame on one person for. I think it's a total team thing. I think that at times too many tonight. We talk all the time about not leaving people on an island, and I thought too many times that's kind of where that stagnation came from, where there was just too many eyes on the ball handler and not enough movement and trying to create space. And that led to some late clock situations, and whether it caused us to force up some out of rhythm shots or causes to turn it over. But I think we've been pretty good at that in the last few weeks, and today it wasn't that. And so we just got to be all committed again to helping each other, to being able to create space, whether that's through cutting or screening, and we just got to do a better job of handling the pressure.